Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the murk, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners. 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different. The tab is.
Do you know what I find hilarious, first and foremost?
Go on.
Do you know who I basically link you with automatically? And I can't, yeah.
Who?
Lil' Kim.
Little Kim?
Lil' Kim. Because
I've never heard that one before.
Because, yeah, you did such a great job in the fancy
dress.
I remember looking at you and I was like, oh my, I didn't even know it was you at the time.
Swear.
Yeah, and then I remember thinking, she sicked it.
Yeah.
With the
outfit. Whole blue.
So every time I see you now,
that is hilarious.
I just think Lil' Kim all the time.
That was a fun time. They need to do that again. Yeah, me and my girls all went in. We went to the wig shop. We ordered our outfits. I think I was Little Kim. One of my best friends was Eve. She did the whole short pixie thing.
Oh, with
the paws on her chest. And then my other best friend, she did Nicki Minaj with the pink wig and the suit. It was a vibe. They have TLC. Some of my girls did TLC with the whole wigs as well.
Everybody went in that day.
Everyone. We need that again.
Absolutely.
We need that again.
Yeah,
if they're
anyone's
listening.
got the power to do it, you've got the power to do it.
Well, I'll talk to them. We need to do that again. That was a fun time. And it was just fun. It wasn't serious. You know, sometimes when black people go out, we just like what we're wearing, so serious. It was such a fun, playful night. It was a vibe.
Okay,
But,
sweet.
yeah.
We're going to start now. Just introduce yourself.
My name is Antoinette. You want my surname?
Yeah, go on then.
My name is Antoinette Oguntunade. Who am I? I am a mum. I'm a wife. I'm the wife of Tayo Oguntunade. We actually co-founded a business together called Bricks with Tips, which we've had it'll be 5 years this year. And what we do is we create content, we work with brands to help people get into the property ladder by sharpening up their financial literacy, by sharpening up their property literacy, how the market works in the UK. So we do a whole range of things. We've just started a new project actually called the Home Buyers Club as well, which we do alongside Bricks with Tips. And it's all really about helping people in our community get onto the property ladder and drilling in how important it is to get onto the property ladder, especially if you're going to live in this country, you're going to raise children in this country. We need ownership. Like one of my things that I say when I work with brands or do talks is that the lack of ownership allows people to control how much or how little they're going to give to you. Don't be in a position where you've got to rely on other people. Be in a position where you can help other people. That's where you want to be in life.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm going to get into all of that because obviously you sound like someone that's got your brains fully screwed on. In fact, I know you have your brains fully screwed on. Now, first and foremost, how I like to start is just, how do we know each other? Obviously, it's going to be clear how we know each other, but how do we know each other, in your opinion?
We know each other through family. Yeah, we know each other through family. Yeah.
Now, in regards to that, I'm going to... What I love about this is, like your husband articulated perfectly, is he's been on a lot of platforms, and obviously you guys are very much got your professional hats on. So this is like a nice opportunity for everyone to actually get to know you for who you are.
Yeah.
So what I would like to say is, first time, I think, it might not have been the first time I met you, but I remember this is before you and Tayo were husband and wife. I think either he threw you a surprise party, or...
Yeah. It was a surprise party. That was my 25th. Oh, that was a second ago. That was my 25th birthday. Yeah.
I remember I was there.
Yeah.
And first thing I thought is, some nice girls. All of your girls were looking nice.
They are. All my girls are nice. Yeah.
Now, obviously, like you said, it's a family connection. I know your husband very well. Now I feel like it's just what you're gonna find out about me is I'm a very, very lovey-dovey person, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he speaks highly about you all the time.
Listen.
I'm not even sure if we edited that part out, but he was very emotional and very lovely when speaking about you, and extremely complimentary to your contribution. And so what I'd like to say is, how do you guys know each other?
How do me and my husband know each other?
Yeah.
How did we meet? Okay. So we'll take it back to 2010. We actually met on the first day of uni. We were going to induction, you know, when they do the whole introduction to your course type of thing. And we were both lost. He was actually with his friend. You know him as well. Hendo? Hendo?
Hendo, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I met both of them on the first day of uni. And we didn't know where we were going. He was like, you going to the economics class? I was like, yeah. So do you know where it is? I was like, no. Then someone else overheard us having that conversation. They were like, oh, it's this way. So we then went together. So that was the first time that we met.
Okay. Did you like him then?
No.
Okay. Did he like you then?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so anyway. I don't think we've had this conversation. I don't think so. Maybe. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that. In your opinion? In my opinion, it wasn't that. I don't think so anyway. I'd see him around uni. Yeah, we were on the same course. So it would be me, my housemate at the time, and then him and Hendo. So it would be like the 4 on the course and stuff like that. Well, I say 4, but there were other people on our course and stuff. So we see each other all the time. And then I don't know what it was.
So
one day we were just friends. Okay. Yeah, we were just friends.
How long?
So uni started in September. And then I think it was probably about April or May. Okay. It was April where I was like, I said to my friend Esther, I was like, I think I like him. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I said to my friend Esther, I think I like him. And I from what I remember, this is 14 years ago. So please, guys, my memory is not as sharp as it was when I was a spring chicken. And I can't actually remember all the way down to the, thank you, the full details. But I said to my friend Esther, I was like, I think I like him. And then like, we'd just keep seeing each other. And I think I know she orchestrated a few, like, being in each other's space more. And then, yeah, the rest is history. And then we started talking.
Wait, so did you like him first? As far as you're aware?
As far as I'm aware, I think I liked him first.
Okay.
As far as I can remember. I mean, he might have said something, but it wasn't directly to me before I had said to my friend that I liked him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So then, yeah, we just started talking. And then, yeah, 14 years later, we're here. I know I jumped. That's a big jump. But, yeah, we started talking.
So when did you start going out? Like, how did that happen?
When did we start going out? Oh
my gosh, bear in mind, what I'll say is, I had a girl on recently here that said her dream was basically her fairy tale is she goes to university, goes out with a guy, finds out she likes a guy, marries him, they have children, happily ever after. That you've actually done what most girls actually go out to achieve, isn't it?
You know what's interesting about that? I'm going to uni to study. I took a gap year.
Okay.
So I'm actually older than him. I took a gap year. So it was like, I've worked, I traveled a bit. Let me come to uni and just get a degree now. Like, just put your head down.
Yeah, seems like you've wasted
a lot of time. And my dad wasn't really happy at the time, but I didn't want to go straight to uni. I was the eldest, so it was a bit controversial at home. So it was like, okay, cool. Let me just go to uni, prove my dad wrong that I did what I did, worked for the year. He was worried that I'd just get into the routine of wanting to work and not actually study. And, you know, I'm from Ghana. You have to study.
Oh, my God. Do you know I had no idea?
Really? You just found it out now? You thought I was Nigerian?
Yeah, but you know, it makes so much sense. Because you know Dan? You know Dan?
Oh, yeah.
You give me Pam vibes as well.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, so Yeah, and you kind of look like her, innit? Like,
Everyone says that. Even I went to their son's birthday like a few months ago, and someone said to me, "Are you one of Pam's?" Like, she's got like what, 4 sisters or something like that. She's like, I haven't met you. You one of Pam's sisters? I'm like, no. And my one of my best friends, she's close friends with Dan and Pam. She says it to me all the time. She's like, you and Pam are like twins.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, because I could see it. Now, I didn't know why I didn't question. Obviously, it's because you got the last surname as your husband.
That's it.
That's why.
That's it. And my maiden name is a very Ghanaian Ashanti name.
Yeah, so wait, so you mentioned, so you took a gap year.
Yeah.
But Dad was afraid you
wouldn't go. He's afraid that I'd like the money and not want to go back to uni.
So I was afraid that, you were going to get too comfortable with making money.
Yeah.
So you decided to go to university on a serious vibe.
Yeah.
I ain't checking for no man.
No, I'm not looking for no one. I just want to, like, I'll make friends and stuff like that. But I'm not really looking for anyone. And it was like that until we were in each other's space all the time. Like, I think you know Jordan as well. Yeah. Jordan.
I know everyone.
You know everyone, yeah. So all of us were like batched up basically. And then I'd always see him. He was the funny guy. He's funny. And I just like, there was something about him that I like. I kept on saying to my friend, I don't know what it is, but there's something about him that I like, that I really like. My friend was like, all right, let's figure it out, blah, blah, blah.
Who's that friend?
I don't think you've messed her, my friend Esther.
Okay.
Yeah, shout my darling. Shout out Esther. So we started talking. Was it serious? Was it not serious? I don't know. We were just talking. And then fast forward, so this was like first year. And then the second year, the summer, we went home for summer, whatever. We came back. And
did you see each other during that period?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
we
serious.
Did. Yeah, we did. And then we came back to uni second year. We were talking. And now at this point, we were talking for a long time. Like it was pushing a year, and it was like all the "what are we" questions started coming up. It was a long time. And then I think after maybe about 13 months, which I know a lot of girls wouldn't have now, they're probably thinking, why did you hang around for 13 months to see what it was?
Because it was all good.
Yeah, it was all good.
When there's nothing to complain about.
Yeah, it was all good. And like, I wasn't worried about a title.
Yes,
I wasn't.
Yes! And that's
Weirdly.
the vibe you have to have.
No, it's not.
It is.
That's 19-year-old.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is the fact that you were so secure in your position, you had each other's time.
Yeah.
You call him, he'll call back. There was nothing to actually, you were just enjoying each other's presence. The mere fact that you were liking each other at the time was more important than the actual title.
That is true. It was more important than the actual title for a while.
Yeah.
Then it was like, what are we?
I'm saying by 13 months, if you ask someone at 13 months, what are we? And they're doing dilly-dally at that point in time, then you've got the right to be, because for instance, if he likes you and you're like, yo, what are we? He'll be like, yeah, of course you're my girl.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was. It was literally that is literally what it was. So we just hadn't had the conversation.
Yeah.
And because for me, we hadn't had the conversation, it was like, so what I would say to my friends, I don't know what we are. Like, we're still talking. What are we? What are we? And then when we spoke, it was like, so what do you think this has been like the whole time? Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Congratulations, man. Because I've been pushing for that theory. Most of the relationships I look at that are beautiful are the ones that they don't even realize they're going out. And so, oh my God, yes, we are going out.
I do think a conversation should happen though, for clarity.
Yeah.
Because it's not nice.
To be an ambiguity.
Yeah, that's not a nice feeling. And like after you're like all like smitten and stuff, and then it's like, oh, what are we? That's actually not a nice feeling. And 13 months is a long time. But I was 19 at the time. If I was 25, I'm not waiting for 13 months.
Well, what do you reckon that number would be now?
I don't know. And I'm not going to lie to you. I feel very blessed that I haven't had to find out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Because some guys would take the piss.
Yeah, some would. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm glad that I'm not in that position because I think everyone's got their own threshold as well. I think some girls are like, after 3 months, you'd know. Me personally, I wouldn't mind longing it out because I don't think you can ever truly know anyone to their full capacity.
Yeah.
And I feel like you know how guys are like CRB, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. I always say to my girls, listen, the ball's in your court.
Mhm.
Don't get it twisted. Make sure that you're making the right decisions to
Mhm.
be with that person as
Mhm.
well before you're doing that boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance, or even husband and wife.
Mhm.
You've got to make sure that you have gone through
Your due
your
diligence.
absolutely to make sure that this person is your person
Mhm.
and that you can go through life together. Because I feel
Mm.
like a lot of people get to a certain stage when it's like, shit, then I don't even like you.
Mm.
Because you were rushing to get a title, you were rushing to get that comfortability, you had all the feels, but you weren't actually doing the work to figure out whether this person is actually for you.
Yeah, and I even say that certain times, even what I'm personally looking for is someone not only somebody that I like, but also somebody that I'll be able to tolerate when I don't like them.
That part.
Yeah, as in because, like you said, do life with someone. That doesn't mean
You like
do
them all
fairy
the
tale
time.
with somebody.
Yeah.
It means sometimes they're going to annoy you,
Yeah.
and you need to still love them
100%.
through those parts as well.
100%.
And now, also, you mentioned that you did economics.
Yes.
Now, what? Because it seems as though like you were very much on that finance path. I want to know what kind of led you down there. Were you just good at your A levels, or?
My dad's.
Okay.
So I'm an accountant by trade. My dad was an accountant. He also studied economics. Me and my dad were quite close. We just lost him last year, actually.
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you. So I looked up to him a lot. He was my inspiration in life. And at first I thought I wanted to do medicine, but I wasn't good at science. The only thing that I was consistently good at was maths. So yeah, I went to do economics. I did economics at A level. I enjoyed it. I did economics at degree level. Came out of uni, I was like, I don't know what to do with this economics degree. Like, I actually have no idea what I want to do. And then I was like, you got to do something. I'm just not going to let you wait around to have a job fall on your lap. Like, you've got to do something. And while I was in my gap year, I actually interestingly did law. I just wanted to see what it was like. I didn't necessarily wanted to be a lawyer, but I had an aunt that owned her own firm. Okay. So I went to work there. So yeah, came out.
Paralegal?
Yeah. Which was quite interesting. Got to go to court, really, really interesting cases, but law was just never my route. So yeah, came out. My dad was like, "Well, if you don't know what you're gonna do, just do accounting. Do economics, do accounting."
Which path did you take? ACCA or
SEMA.
Okay, SEMA. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, ironically, do you reckon you inspired what's his name, Gibbs?
No, he was always doing account.
Okay.
Yeah. He was always doing it. Yeah. So SEMA, and then I just worked in a few different industries. I started training at a small publishing firm. Then I went into retail. I worked at Kurt Geiger, Harrods. I was at The Economist, and now I'm at a big.
They say SEMA is good for that, isn't it? As in SEMA is good for management accounts.
Management accounts, yeah. If you want to do something
a bit more. What does it stand for? What does SEMA stand for?
Chartered Institution of Management Accountants.
Oh, what it is? See, I didn't even know that. Okay, that makes sense, then, doesn't it?
So if you want to do something more commercial, so I stay away from tax, for example.
Tax just sounds like my relationship with tax is like my relationship with algebra. It just sounds nasty. But, like in terms of algebra, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
But, like tax, every time I see jobs involving tax, I shy away from it.
Yeah. So I definitely, that was intentional to stay on the management side and the commercial side and stuff like that. So I try and stay away from like statutory accounts and really focus on like business partnering and things like that, and just like business strategy and things like that. So yeah.
Now, you guys, obviously, Tips' opinion, he says that basically you're the reason as to why Bricks with Tips started. Yeah, so he said in terms of Antoinette, 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 basically, he says between you and his brother, is the reason why it started. So, why did you want him to go down that path at first?
So, he bought his first house when he was super young, and then people naturally in our circle saw that, started asking him questions, and there'll be times where he would pick me up from somewhere. He's on the phone talking about property. He'll drop me off. He's on the phone talk about property. We're in the house. He's on the phone talk about property, helping someone, advising someone, or just he'll just be having conversations around that topic, and they were all helping people. So it was like, okay, start doing YouTube then. Like, if you talk about it all the time, you're actually helping like friends and family, like do YouTube. Yeah. Like, a lot of the questions, like when I finally decided to jump on and invest with him, we weren't even married at the time.
That's what I'm saying. What the hell? what made you do that? Because that's as a commitment as marriage and having a child as well, kind of, isn't it? Having a puppy with someone is it's having a baby with someone, essentially.
I mean, yes and no. I understand what you're saying, and I understand why you're saying it. In the grand scheme of things, it's an investment, right? I'm plugging in cash to a project. If, God forbid, we didn't work, the way the market works is that the value of whatever property we bought at the time would have increased. We would have been able to take out our equity, take out what we put in, then some, and just walked away from each other. So actually, some people are walking away from relationships without anything. If it didn't work, I'll be walking away with him with some cash. So do you get? And everything's airtight. I think the key thing is that you just got to be.
Did you know that at the time though? Because obviously now you're basically like a property.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into, right? You have to understand the risks that you're taking. As I was watching him do the first one, I understood the process. When we were going through the first one that we did together, I was all up in the paperwork. Like,
so you were involved in the second property?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know you. In fact, I didn't even get into the intro. Basically, I'm sure you're aware. This is called This Can't Come Out.
Yeah.
So basically, we can have beautiful, unfiltered conversations.
Yeah.
I send it to you first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then you can decide what information you delve into or not.
Yeah.
Now, how many houses have you guys got together now?
I'm just thinking about together because me and my siblings have some as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, no. How many houses are you directly involved in, you yourself? Now? In fact, no. Do the first one first. How many houses do you guys own together?
I think it's 6.
Okay. How many do you and your siblings have together?
So I've got 2 with my siblings. Okay. So that's 8 altogether.
So that's 8 properties that you're directly involved in.
Yeah.
Do you know how hilarious this is to me? Have your sisters got any of their own properties?
Yeah,
as well?
my sister. I've got one sister. Yeah.
Do you know what's mad? Yeah. So between probably you and your sister.
Yeah.
And your husband and their brothers. Yeah. That's probably like what, 30 houses or something.
Yeah.
That's your parents would be so proud.
Hope so.
That's fucking sick. Do you plan on stopping buying properties, or is that? When is there going to be enough properties? Bro?
When is enough ever enough?
Yeah, never.
I think, okay, good question. And even people that I talk to with the work that we do, I always say, what's your why? Right?
I think I heard him say that as well. You guys are the same people.
Is that what he said? No, it's what's your why? And he'll probably, my why is different. I think my why is different to his. My why is definitely generational wealth. And it's freedom as well. Freedom for my children. I think with a lot of African households, we come from striving out of pressure, going into certain jobs because of pressure, not doing the things that, not even having the opportunity to tap into the things that we like that could make us a lot of money because of pressure. So personally for me, when I was growing back, like I said, my dad was an accountant. My dad's 2 sisters were doctors. I had no option apart from medicine, accounting, engineering. That's I was told those are the only career paths that are going to make you a decent wage in life. And when you don't know,
no risk involved,
right? And I understand why those conversations were had with me, because they came from a place where we've come from Africa. We're actually quite blessed to. So my dad studied here. My dad studied at, he did his master's at King's. But even coming over here, like he'll tell me stories of when he went to boarding school, my grandma my granddad died when my dad was 8. So everything was on my grandma. And she wasn't from a wealthy family. So he was so sharp that he got into boarding school, but that was it. He didn't have money for clothes. He didn't have money for books. He didn't even have money for a mattress. My dad would sleep on the hard parts of the bed. So his attitude was work hard, go into the jobs that will give you security, work hard. And I'm an African man coming into this country. I don't know how the system works. All I know is that in order for you to have a decent life, you're going to have to work hard and study something serious where you're respected and earn a decent amount of money. And for him, all he knew was that was in medicine, that was in engineering, and that was in finance. That was it. Do you get?
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I've got 2 daughters. I don't want to have the same conversations with him. Like I said, I understand why my dad had those conversations with me, but because of his upbringing and also because of the racism in this country as well. He's come from Africa where he didn't know what racism was in Africa.
Early as well.
Early.
Yeah.
Do you get? Here, it's like he's not even comfortable working in his jobs because of racism, let alone bringing up 3 black children. What's that going to look like? He doesn't know what that looks like. Do you get? So I've got 2 children and I want them to find what they enjoy, what inspires you to be happy, what gives you joy, what is your purpose. And not everyone's purpose in life is to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. What is going to make you happy? We've got all this mental health stuff, and I'm not saying that to belittle it, but we've got a lot of mental health issues. And I feel like a large amount of that is surrounding us waking up every day and not doing the things that we want to do. Waking up every day and not doing the things that we love, not experiencing proper love, not being in situations to seek what actually makes us happy. And that is not always chasing money. It's not always chasing the finer things in life. Sometimes that's just being in spaces where you can breathe or feel comfortable enough to have decent conversations with people, or just having brain stimulating conversations with people on a day-to-day, not helping somebody else build their business. Do you get? Not helping somebody else, literally start a business from the ground up. What is it that inspires you every single day to do? And for example, my personal trainer, she gets up, she said to me, Amen. I've got She says to me, I wake up every Monday and I'm buzzing to get to work. I'm buzzing to see how my clients are getting on with their journey. I can't wait to train them. I feel good when I'm seeing their progress in life. She's a personal trainer. Some people may look at that job and be like, okay, but she's happy and she's able to raise a family and she's happy. She wakes up every single day, literally. She'll say, I sing on the way to work. I see her on a Friday morning at 6 a.m. She can't wait to see me. She can't wait to talk about my week, or like even on a personal level. Do you get? And I just feel like if I've got property that in this country generates 33.3% of this country's wealth, that's the second wealth generational asset. If I have that, then that allows me to give opportunities to my daughters to say to me, Mum, I'm so sick at art, and I love drawing, and drawing makes me happy. Okay, so now I've got property. I can give her one. I can sell one. I can do whatever it is that is now in my power to make her comfortable to go and draw for the rest of her life if that's what she wants to do. I don't have to put that pressure on her and say, Livy, what's this? How are you going to eat with this art? How are you going to eat with this artwork? Do you get? Now, with the fact that she's able to draw, I can now take the pressure off of her thinking about how to make money from it. And she can go and do a business course on how to actually make money from art. Do you get? And still draw at the same time.
Amen.
She'll be able to think laterally about what she wants to do and how she can make money from what she wants to do. How many years do you think 20 years ago we could even fathom making money from a social media platform.
I even find it crazy now.
It's wild.
You can make money from playing PlayStation.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. And the people that are making money from playing PlayStation, I'm sure they're happy.
Yeah.
Or happier than the people who are in the rat race.
Yeah. And like you said, it's that separation away from our parents.
Yeah.
My mum would never, because of what she's had to do, my mum would have never allowed me to play PlayStation. In order to just play. Are you crazy? I came here, worked this hard. Yeah, no, now you need to do something to make you some money.
Thank you.
And obviously now you're in that era now where, you know what, let me think about my kids.
Yeah. And what
I'm saying I can give them a little safety net to actually enjoy life, be the best versions of themselves, and not have to worry about. Okay, so that was your main.
So that was my main thing. I want my. I think I'm a mum of two. A mum of two girls, and I think.
So like, mum of two girls.
Two girls, cool. Yeah.
I thought you said mum of two. This is me. What's mum? I'm slow. Yeah.
mum of two girls, and for me as a mother, my role is to nurture them to be the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. And if it's not in numbers, I have to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. I'm an accountant. I'm not going to force them to go into numbers. If it's not in English, I'm going to be okay with them. I'm not going to force them to go and do a master's in English. Mm-hmm. But they will still study. They're still going to study very hard. Well, yeah. They're still going to have they're still going to see that both mum and dad work very hard. Mm-hmm. They're still going to have that embedded in them, but they're not going to live life on fear and on the fact that I can't do something because I have to be here chasing money or chasing my tail to have a good life. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's right. I want their main priority to be their mental health and their heart health, what is in here. Mm-hmm. Because what is in here actually fuels what you do as a person. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone has different purposes in life in terms of giving back to the community. But as human beings and as children of God, we all have one purpose, which is to love other people and to serve other people. Mm-hmm. So if their way of serving other people is to draw for them, or is to sing for them, or to dance for them, or even if it is in accounting or finance or whatever, I want you to do that with that being what you truly want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to shut down.
That'll make you stand out above the rest.
Thank you.
Like obviously, I used to tell my mum this as well. Like one time, my mum was, they made me do biology. I was good at science, what was it, at GCSE. So they'll think, oh my God, he's going to be a doctor. And I'm like, I don't want to do biology. So they made me do biology. And I'm telling my mum, I have no interest in the subject. I'm competing against people that actually love it. Now, when you love something versus you're just doing it for the wrong reasons, the person that loves it is going to outperform you each and every time because it's not work to them no more at that point in time, innit? So they can actually like really excel. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, right now you kind of touched on something that I spoke to your husband about, which was I was asking like what your passions are,
right?
And he said it as well that basically one of your big passions are helping people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you basically just wanting to help people. So am I right in assuming that is why all of this what was it, the aspect of what's that club that you started?
The Home Buyers Club.
Was that your way of kind of like giving back to people?
So both have been a way of giving back to people. We this has really become a career for us within the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Bricks with Tips will be 5 years old now. So that means we've done a lot of things for free, given out a lot of key content for free, help people get on the property ladder for free. That was a way of giving back. Like we've achieved so much at a young age where we've been able to acquire all these properties and help people within our inner circle. And that's a great achievement. Like even watching our friends do it. Now let's give back to the community and see if other people who aren't privy to that information, do you get what I mean? Like you can only do so much as what you read or what you're around or what you watch. And some people don't have the privilege to be in a community of people that are able to buy property. So if you don't know or you haven't seen it, then you won't be able to do it. Do you get it? It may be an aspiration of yours, but you may not know where to start. And that's where we really decided to just go heavy with it because that was a lot of the feedback. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know this was in my reach. I knew that being a property owner was like a big thing in the UK, but I never thought it could be me. And I've just bought my first flat, or I've just bought a 2-bedroom house, or even better still, my mum's been in a council house all our lives. I didn't know we could buy it and get up to, at the time, 120K off. People did not have access or know how to access that information until they were coming to our platform.
Where did you get your information
from? So
living it?
I'm an economics student. So these are the things that naturally I would read up on. My A-levels were on the housing crisis. So, and yeah, just living it, being a homeowner, you kind of need to know what's going on because it's not as smooth sailing as, oh, I'm a homeowner, I'm going to make all this money now and everything's going to be great. No, there are factors in the economy that affect your home buying journey or your home ownership journey, as what we've seen in the past couple of years where interest rates have gone up about 13, 14 times, which has affected a lot of homeowners / landlords. So you really need to be clued up with what options you have in life pertaining to either renting, owning, whatever it is. So yeah, naturally we were both interested in it, which is why we knew we wanted to buy a property from a young age, really. And yeah, so it for me, the feeling of thank you guys, I've been able to do this based off the information that you put out there is great. And even the way we do our work, like even just being able to work with corporates to get that message across where we don't even have to take money from you to give you that information is sick. Do you get?
Now, I think I mentioned this with your husband as well, because obviously he's decided to not work. Well, no, not say not work. To not have a boss. Not to go to the 9 to 5 route.
Yeah.
Because obviously you guys are constantly working.
Yeah.
Now, and I was like, oh, the anxiety that he must feel waking up every single morning and stuff, like having to kind of try and make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you mentioned as well that you're still currently
employed. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not sure if this part's going to come out to tell your work that you're planning on leaving, innit? Yeah. But you mentioned in terms, obviously, you're involved in around, was it 6 to 8 properties?
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Why are you working now?
Oh, good question. Okay. I'm working because I don't think it's my time to leave full time.
Also, you mentioned you loved your job.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I not love my job. Okay. I don't love my job. I can do my job well. I can do my job comfortably. So if I can do something that's earning an income comfortably alongside of being a mother, alongside of owning properties, alongside dealing with all the other work that comes from my social media, I'm not going to give up that money.
It's a hard revenue stream.
It's not gonna. I'm not going to just give up that money. I think for me personally, I've always said to myself, I need to comfortably double or triple the income that I make from my 9 to 5 to comfortably say, okay, I'm out, because I've got 2 kids that I'm putting through nursery. Nursery fees ain't cheap, right? Yeah. And like you said, the way my husband's business works is that he has to get up and literally find money every single day. Literally, he has to find money every single day. Sometimes you find gold mines, sometimes you don't. So the days that you don't find a gold mine, at least I know that I'm making a steady income every single month. So it's like, all right, babe, don't worry. I've got the next couple of months while do you get what I'm doing, your meetings and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, it takes the pressure off. Do you get? So like I said, and the thing is, we're a business as one, right? So it's not like there's 2 separate entities where I get a salary and then he gets a salary. If we get booked, we get booked for a combined fee most of the time. If I get booked by myself, then I get booked for a fee. If he gets booked for himself, he gets booked for a fee. So the money has to literally, like I said, double my income, triple my income until I can say, do you know what? We're making enough money from the corporates or the socials for me to leave. But if I can do what I'm doing now, there's no point saying bye to that money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but why double? Why not 0.5? Like, you know
No,
what I'm saying?
0.5 is not enough because it's not consistent.
Uh-huh.
Do you get? It's not that. So for example,
Or equal.
it's not consistent.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, because it's still a lot of hustling that needs
It's
to
not
be done
consistent.
to do
I can get a speaking job for, let's say, 4 figures.
Mhm.
How many speaking jobs am I gonna get? I'm still
Yeah.
gonna have to fight for those. Not fight for them, but I'm gonna have to
Put yourself out there.
put them out there. Make sure that everything is patterned so that they can find me. That could happen consistently for 2-3 months,
Mhm.
and then there could be a quiet period.
Mhm.
If I take annual leave, if I go sick, I'm still getting paid.
Yeah, facts.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Whereas
If you're sick, give us our money back. Give us a
so
deposit.
until we know that there's a system where it's like, okay, we hit a big one for 30-40K and we only need 3 of those a year, then fine. But until that happens, just security wise, we've got mortgages to pay. We've got kids to put through school.
Obviously, when you hear the amount of properties that you've got, whether you like or not, this might make you feel uncomfortable, but I said this to your husband as well.
Go on.
You guys are millionaires, isn't it?
I mean, not in cash value, no.
Okay, yeah, cool. I didn't say you guys are millionaires, whether you like or not. But isn't it? Because what I heard over there, certain times you still have what's it called? I don't even know. There must be a real term for them. They're like financial insecurities.
Okay, so we rent most of our properties. They're either let out through service accommodation, or we have traditional tenants in there, or recently we've been giving them to social living as well. Yeah. So that's
I've
how.
heard some wonderful stories about people that have done that. One of my aunties done that. Yeah.
There you go. So that's how we make the income from the properties. Now, there's obviously risk. If we've got a tenant that wants to leave, then we also have to take that into consideration. If we've got we've had to pay for a boiler, we've had to put 10K for a boiler, we've had to put a few £1,000s for an oven, we've had to put a few £1,000s for a complete refurb, even just to be able to let it out to social living, because they've got to be at a certain standard. You've got to have money to make sure that you've got all your EPC checks, you've got all the standard legal requirements and things like that, your gas certificate, your this, your that. So they obviously need, you need to pay for them.
So you can't really, like you said, so basically with having these much properties, you can't be in a situation where you need to have money on the side just in case. For something.
Exactly. So on top of my husband's job not being one where he makes we know how much he's taking every month, and on top of having obligations through the properties that we do own, and then on top of having 2 children as well, let me just hang on a bit until I'm comfortable enough to say I can leave this salary because the business is now turning over X amount. Where
and it looks like it will continue to do
it looks like it will continue to do that.
Oh,
so
wow.
until that happens, I'm personally not comfortable because I don't want to put that pressure on him as well. Do you get?
But the funny thing about that is, when you get into a pattern of, but this is a beautiful situation to be in, a blessed situation to be in, but it might get to a pattern of, there's an opportunity here to buy another house. Isn't it? So now what's happened is you bought another house and another house and another house.
So we've got quite a good balance where he'll be like, babe, right, we're going to do this project. And then I can sometimes bring him back down. And then if he comes back and he shows me all the numbers and it makes sense, then fair enough, we'll go. But if we reason with each other and it's like, all right, cool, maybe not now, then do you get what I mean? And we're quite good, even with personal things, like we've got 1 car. We don't overindulge.
Where is he now then?
He's at home.
Okay.
Yeah, he's at home. I'm thinking, where is he? He's at home. What day is it? He's at home. We've got 1 car. We don't overindulge in holidays. We're quite strict with like takeouts and going out. We've always been like that, and I think we've had to in order to even start our property journey.
When will you indulge, do you reckon?
When will we indulge?
Because I know, especially with him, there is a burning desire there to eventually do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because obviously he's a car man as well, he's a watchman as well.
Yeah.
So I feel so. Do you feel so in your head? You've got a period of, you know what? We're working so hard, so maybe at 40, 45.
When the cash flow makes,
let's blow this money.
when the cash flow, I mean, I've got my dream car on my wish list.
What is it?
It's a G-Wagon.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
That'd be lovely, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little upgrade. Obviously we've got properties, but we're not living in our dream home.
Mm-hmm.
So even things like that, I know exactly what I want our dream family home to look like. Oh, this
is gonna be beautiful, and when you get it, this clip has gone viral. Please, just describe it.
I don't know where it is yet.
Okay,
it'll be outside London, just outside.
Yeah. Close enough to,
yeah. A nice 6-bedroom, couple of rooms en suites, 3 reception rooms, a Blancs garden, a dining room, and then a open plan kitchen dining as well. And yeah.
Okay, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So when you get that 6-bed, boom, this part's gonna come out.
And 6 real nice double room bedrooms where we can have guests and enjoy. You know my husband, he's an enjoyment person. Like if we could have people in our house all day, every day, we would.
That's what he said he loved about COVID.
Literally. So yeah, I think we will get to the point where it's like boom, but we also have to. There's a time to harvest.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a time to harvest.
I feel like you guys have definitely got your head screwed on with that as well, because it's not like certain times, like I see, because there's little things like a crop. Okay, this is an ad. This is clearly an ad.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys are not really.
I hope you're liking those ads, by the way.
I am liking them. Yeah, of course.
Please.
As a do you mean like physically liking them? I don't know, you know.
That's how we eat.
Okay, I like them.
Please.
I like all of them. I've got
all
4
of them.
pounds as well, innit? I like all of them. Oh wow, I didn't even read it. So I never knew that.
I mean,
I don't do no brand deals. I don't even. Obviously, they do it by engagement, isn't it? That makes sense, isn't it?
They do it by engagement. So obviously, the better the ad does, the more likely you are to get the call back to. All right, let's do it again. Yeah. So all of those ones need to. Like on all your accounts, share, comment, all of that. Let the brand see, this is doing well.
People are messing with this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, because what I've noticed about you guys as well, you're very proactive in regards to getting brand. As in, do you go out of your way to seek brand collabs? Or?
So we've got management. I say we. Tayo's got management. And then as a collective, as we. But as a collective for Brooks with Tips, we've got management, but I'm not managed independently. So we've got management. She will say, this person's been on your socials, they want to work with you. And then we'd get emails to come in and do like separate projects. So I've independently worked with like Deloitte, Bloomberg, some others that I can't even remember, but more time.
How did they? What, did they headhunt you?
So I was approached. Luckily, Big Dummy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a lot of links, so he always pushes them. He always pushes them to me, and then Sam, our management, might have to cut this bit out, but she will say, "Okay, this is going on. This will be good for a Black woman to do. Does Antoinette want to do this?" And then collectively, she'll be like, okay, this brand, so compare the market, want to talk. So we'll go and sit and talk, we'll compare the market. We'll just tell them about ourselves. And then if what they're trying to pitch is aligned with our brand, then we'll decide to do it. If it doesn't, then we don't.
Sometimes you force alignment.
No.
But you could though, isn't it?
We could, but the thing is...
like Snickers. Oh, build a house. Oh, I'm tired.
Something like that, yes. But if it's completely off, like I've had a lot of conversations about doing fashion stuff. That's not what I've built my platform for. Do you get? So I'm not going to start doing PLT or whatever.
But if you wear it, it might work. You know what I'm saying? If you do it already, like what are you wearing now?
This is actually my Uggs. This is actually my sister's brand, Neo London.
Okay.
And then Zara.
Okay. Now, if Zara just wanted to hand you a check for wearing what you're wearing already,
we'd probably have to start a different platform. I'd probably have to start an independent platform. I think one of the things that we're really proud of is the authenticity of our brand. Do you get? It's not that we're doing ads for anything and everything rather. All the ads that we do either help you with your finances to get on the property ladder, help you with the knowledge gap, or have an interior aspect. So, for example, we've just done a Vodafone deal. You're going to want to have the best broadband in your house, no? And you're going to want to have it for cheap. We did compare the market, home insurance. Do you get? We added a bit of there. That's where we tweaked a bit, where we put a bit of a personal side, because one of the compare the market ads was a group trip that my husband arranged for me for my 30th birthday.
Who did you go with?
Who did we do?
Group trip. Is it a family group trip?
My friends.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And he didn't come?
Who didn't come?
Well, your husband.
No, he was there. He was
there
there.
as well?
So, yeah. He was there. Yeah. So my friends, they brought their husbands. And
I think I saw that then.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of our key things is just being completely authentic as to who we are as a couple and what we want to represent on this platform, which is we want to represent people from our background and inspire and aspire them to get onto the property ladder.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely is inspiring. 100%. Because obviously, seeing, like you said, even with his friendship group, seeing him do it, I could see the trajectory of all of you guys' mates and stuff, isn't it? Everyone's on stuff as a result of it, and he was the first out of them. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
100%. You can just I think recently when I spoke to him, when he was speaking about the fact that you're even aligning yourselves with people in this space, like maybe when you were 21, you wouldn't even think of having 6 houses. You the hell would have thought about that. But you've been around people that have got 32 and 40 now, and you're like, oh wow, this is a thing that can be done. Filling yourself up with the knowledge. So yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
In that sense, 100% mission accomplished.
Exactly. And also trying to mute all the scaremongering that is associated with it as well. Oh, you don't really own it. Oh, it's a liability. Oh, we'll never get onto the property ladder. Bad credit. Yeah. It's never going to happen for me, or I don't earn enough, or I can't do it by myself. And it's just the way you think about something sometimes. Like even so, what I like to talk about, what's quite interesting with the business is that we both have, and what I think works well is that we both have different key areas that we cover. So I like to focus on co-buying. And I know some people find it a bit controversial that I actually bought with someone that I wasn't married to, but we're here now. And we're here now. And actually, I think people need to think about co-buying more. And if it's not, it doesn't have to be with a partner. It can be with a friend. It can be with a sibling. Most of us, or some of us, are in a position where we're renting or we're living at home with enough cash to get on the ladder, but you might need a salary booster or the other way around. And you've got a friend who also wants to buy, or you've got a sibling that wants to buy. You guys have you've been living with each other. I don't want to buy with her, I don't want to live with her, but you've been doing that. And I always say, we both say, timing the market, you're going to lose. Do you get what I mean? Timing the market is better than timing the market. So if you're sitting at home thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do it in 5 years' time when I'll probably get a better salary or I can save a bit more money. You're 5 years' time, you're going to be having that same talk with yourself again, right? So I'm always like, try and get together.
Time in the market is better than
timing. Yeah, time in the market is better than timing the market. And we saw that with COVID. People thought house prices were going to drop. People were getting ready. Boom, this is my time. House prices went up like this. Interest rates went up like people were paying £400 for their mortgage today and then paying £1,000 tomorrow. Not literally, but you get what I mean, because of how the market works. So when you're ready, execute. If you're ready, or if you're halfway, find out who can help bring the other half and get onto the ladder. And the sick thing about a ladder, it's literally, if you think about it physically and literally, you just go up after you get your foot on it.
Yeah.
So position yourself to do that with someone you can trust in order to just go up. Have an agreement. I've got a video out there about cohabitation, and it was for people who are not married, but it fits everyone, where you can have a declaration of trust, which will stipulate everything, a legal agreement.
Who put in how much?
When you want to exit,
am I getting my full amount back? Or
do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can now, I mean, if I was single now, and if I was working and didn't have enough cash, I would easily have a conversation with my sister or a friend and say, do you know what? I really want to buy a house. I don't hope it'll be, okay, yeah, me too. All right, well, this is my salary and the bank is only going to lend me X amount. Would you mind, not even mind, but are you interested in becoming a homeowner as well? I think this is something that we can do, project together. We can either do it as an investment or residential, where we buy together, we're on the property ladder. I'm planning on getting married in the future. You're planning on getting married in the future. So let's get a declaration of trust, or let's get a solicitor that can bring in an extra document to write up an exit strategy. So we've got an agreement to say, okay, 5 years from now, whatever equity has been made, we can split that and go our separate ways, or we can sell. But the sick thing is that you can still go your separate ways and still own the first property that you bought. You can rent that, and you two are still making an income together while you've gone your separate ways to start your own family or start your own marriage. Now you've got equity from that property to even go and start a new life with someone else. How sick is that?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
And these are the conversations.
Married, you know what I'm saying? It can even help towards your.
This
your
is what
marriage.
I'm saying. And these are the conversations that I'm really trying to get people to really start having collaboration. And I feel like we really need to break the bondage of competition within our community and really start focusing on collaboration. When people collaborate together, they literally make shit really happen. Really happen. And you see in different communities, you've got Indians. Some of them have to stay in their in-laws' house.
I've heard some crazy stories, yeah.
Some of them have to stay in their in-laws' house. From
Multiple
how I understand it, they're all stacking.
Yeah.
They're all stacking to buy a street worth of houses.
Yeah.
Or shops.
And they execute, yeah.
Do you get? So the Indians, this is not their country the same way it's not our country. But why did they own more property than white people in this country?
They had a strategy stuck to it.
And their strategy is collaboration.
Yeah.
Their strategy is collaboration.
When do you think? Well, do you feel as though you had this mindset once you put your foot in property, or did you reckon you had it before you had your own property?
When you say mindset in terms of collaborating,
yeah.
I've
or once it's like you became knowledgeable, like, oh shit, like this can happen if we collaborate.
So I think it started when I first decided to buy with Tyra.
Oh, you were probably getting some comments. He's not your husband yet. Why?
Yeah, my mum didn't like it. My mum didn't like. She was like, "All right, it's your money. You can't go and live there. Don't go and embarrass me. Let him come to the house and ask you for marriage before you live in that house. Don't go and live there. Fine, cool."
Did you both agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We both
Who
decided
ended up
that.
living there? Did you rent it?
Say that again?
Did you rent out the house?
Yeah, we rented it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you mention it there?
Yeah. So that was our first. No, did we live in that one? Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did live in that one. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I was trying to think. We did. So.
Don't come and embarrass me.
Yeah. No, honestly. And then when I thought
I feel
about
it, though. Yeah.
No, but and also
you can't let niggas get too comfortable. Yeah, 100%.
This is it. He won't want to marry you if you go and stay there and do everything you're supposed to be doing after you're married. He's just not going to want to marry you. Whether that's, I mean, that's I don't want to get into that. That's not my bag. Okay. So, yeah. And then it was like, all right, everything's going to be split in half. When he first bought his house, I wanted to buy mine as me, Antoinette or Sabadu at the time. Let me buy my own house. And then it was like, okay, I think this is definitely it. Like, I feel like this is my husband. Yeah. And the mortgage is going to be split in half. The deposit is going to be split in half. The fees are going to be split in half. Everything's going to be 50%. Okay, that kind of makes sense anyway. But I'm still going to have ownership. And another thing is that I'm somebody that's not like I. And this is another thing I think we've got an issue with in our community. Everyone wants to say I did something by myself without no help.
Yeah.
There needs to be a struggle story for the result to sound a bit sweeter. And I don't believe in that. Cool. And also
wait, so let me just break this down quickly. You're saying when you entered your relationship, I'm not sure, you had your relationship.
Yeah.
And basically, I already had one property.
Yeah.
Now, and basically, so your vibe initially was like, yo, I want my own joint.
Yeah.
So now you didn't go around having your own property.
No.
But now you've got like six.
Yeah, with him.
6 properties with him.
Yeah.
And also 2 of your sisters.
Yeah.
That, okay, but I don't have my own house. But look, you managed to.
I mean, the ownership is not 100%.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm on the paperwork of every single one of these properties.
Which is significantly better than
50% of something is better than having 0% of nothing.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's what people don't like. People want 100% of everything. But 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
The outcome is still the same. The bricks and mortar are still mine. Everything else is still mine. The weight is just off my shoulder a little bit in terms of the fees, the bills, even having to save a deposit. I saved enough deposit to buy, but my salary at the time wasn't giving. And that was another reason. I was like, I don't want to just sit on this amount of cash. I couldn't buy, I think at the time I was earning like...
My salary wasn't giving.
It wasn't giving. It was, not, and respectfully, at the time I was earning about £25,000. 4.5 times your salary, the bank was only going to offer me about 120, 22 or whatever. My maths is, as an accountant, is not, my quick maths is not quick, but whatever that is, whatever that is. So at the time it was like, okay, I'm only going to be able to, I had a 30k deposit. I'm only going to be able to get a house for 130k. Now, prior to that, he had got his house for 150k. And that was about a year or 18 months before I was ready to get mine. I wasn't going to get a house for 130k in the same area or closer to London. It wasn't going to happen. Do you get?
But if you
now
combine a 230 or 260,000 pound house,
even more than that, because he was earning more money. He was on. He was earning more money at the time. So our window opened up significantly. Significantly.
In terms of, this is actually a good question. Now, what are the first time? Did you weigh it up with your first time buyer privileges?
That is a very good question, and I didn't. I didn't, because I was just thinking of it from a personal perspective. I want a house, and I'm gonna marry this man anyway. So after we get married, we're gonna buy a house together anyway. So we might as well just do it now. So losing out on my first time privileges, I didn't really, because I was going to buy my marital home with my husband anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Now, obviously, off camera, we spoke about the children aspect of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, women are amazing. You guys, I don't know how you do it, but
Nor do I.
that childbirth thing is absolutely bonkers and crazy. Now, explain the process of your basically being pregnant the first time.
Being pregnant the first time. So I got pregnant.
First one was planned.
First one was planned. Yes. First one was planned. We were married for a few months, ready to have children. So we had our daughter about 18 months after we got married.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Is it all grown?
Yep.
All right, 18 months after we got married. So we got married in 2019, May 2019, and then I fell pregnant February 2020. So that meant that I lived out my pregnancy through the whole of COVID. My pregnancy and my birth.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, deep COVID as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lockdown probably happened around March times, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the first, like, everyone stopped going into work.
But the news was covering COVID from February.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
and the company that I worked with at the time, we kind of knew that it was going to be peak. Yeah.
Funny that they have information, because the company I work for, everyone knew something significant was about to happen.
Yeah, so interesting pregnancy. It wasn't the greatest, and the toughest part was that my husband wasn't allowed to come to any of the appointments with me because they were so strict on, who's allowed in and out of the hospital. So obviously people are being diagnosed with COVID. People at the time are now dying from COVID, and they're really, really, really trying to like have the hospitals as tight as possible. So that was quite tough. And I was quite sick during my pregnancy. I was in and out of hospital every week. I had this weird itching thing with my liver. And then it got to birthing time, and I unfortunately had an awful experience. And it's by the grace of God that I'm here.
Amen.
I had to have an emergency C-section. During the C-section, they accidentally cut the back of my uterus, which meant I was left to bleed out into my abdominal for 2 days, and then I collapsed.
Wow. Did they know that they cut it?
Not at the time. So I gave birth. Ty had to leave. I kept on complaining that I was in pain. They were like, "Oh, have you ever..."
Baby, sorry, with you?
With me, yeah, at the hospital. They were like, "Oh, you've never had surgery before? All the anesthesia's wearing off. You're gonna start feeling the pain." And I kept on saying, "I don't feel right." I had issues with breathing. I could see women that had come into the area who given birth after me up and walking. I couldn't walk. I'm relatively fit. I was like, why can't I get up and walk? It was night 2.
Don't worry, it happens sometimes.
Literally, it was night 2, and I really couldn't breathe, and my buzzer wasn't working. Luckily, there was a woman that was
complaining to you, probably the same
boy. Luckily, there was a woman in the section that was actually giving birth, and her husband was there, so he ran to get help, and they ran my obs, took my blood. They're like, "Oh, you're fine, just calm down."
What was happening to you that made him run to get help?
I couldn't breathe.
And he could hear
so I knocked something down. I kept on. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe to get attention. Yeah, I couldn't breathe.
So you're like...
And my thing was open. My thing was so they could see me. So he went to get help. So then they like settled me.
Did he actually pass out?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was before I passed out. So they settled me, and then in the morning I'd called Tyro in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, babe, I want to come home. Like, I hate this place. Like, I just want to come home." And then he was like, "Look, just can't chill. I'll come and see you later." Visiting times were like 45 minutes because of COVID. So, bear in mind, I've said that.
What did you expect him to do?
What's that?
When you tell him to come?
Just to come and see me, because I hadn't seen him. No. Just to come and just like come and see me. So now I said that I've not been able to get up and walk yet, but I'm seeing that other women move. So usually with C-sections, they give you about 24 hours until they start telling you to like move your legs and stuff. So I was like, I'm still feeling like somehow. So I pressed for help for a young girl to come and help me. And she came and she was like, so I'm lying on the bed and she's like, "I'm not going to physically help you. I want you to learn how to like maneuver yourself, because you're going to be in a bit of pain when you get home still. So learn how to like maneuver yourself without damaging your stitches." Cut long story short, I've now got up into an upright position. And then the next thing I remember is that I've been woken up. They've ripped my gown off me. There's about 2-3 consultants in the room. There's about 5-6 nurses there. And I am roaring in agony, absolute agony. So say that again.
Most pain
They're more than labor. Labor was light work.
Wow.
So even though I had to have an emergency C-section, I was in labor for 17 hours. Extremely painful. But the pain that I was experiencing, I can never describe. It was just absolutely unbearable. And I literally, like, the doctor touched my belly like this, and I roared in agony. And I remember the two consultants looking at each other, and then they said, "We need to move her now." And I said, "I'm not going anywhere." I've conjured up the strength to speak. I couldn't speak, couldn't do anything. I was like, and I don't know how long I was passed out for as well.
I'm not fucking going anywhere.
No. I was like, "I'm not going. Call my husband, call my husband." They were like, "We'll call your husband." I was like, "No, where's my phone? Like, call him now to come. Call him now."
You crying?
Was I crying? Yes. Yes, I was crying. Yeah, I was hysterical actually. Yeah. So I've called him. I'm like, "Something's happened. I've collapsed. I don't know what's happened, but you need to come to the hospital." Luckily, the hospital that I gave birth to Olivia at was like round the corner. So he was there before they even got me downstairs. And then they were like, "We need to do an ultrasound." I was like, "Absolutely not. Like, you guys have just touched me like this. You now want to pick gel." And I said, "Absolutely not." And then they asked me again, and I said, "No." And they were like, "Look, we think you're internally bleeding. And if you are, we need to get you into surgery straight away. The only way we can tell is if we give you an ultrasound." So I said, "Okay, but I need something for the pain." So I think they gave me an injection for the pain.
Or would they have done it without the injection if you didn't ask?
Who knows? Who knows? So they did the ultrasound and they said, "Yeah, you're internally bleeding. We can't even see any of your organs. We need to get you into surgery now."
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they said to my husband that she's lost so much blood, we have to try and do a blood transfusion before we get her into surgery. Otherwise, she won't make it.
No.
Yeah.
They said that you might not make it.
Yeah. You had to. We had to. Fops had to sign Tayo had to sign a form and everything to consent that we know what risks that we're taking and stuff like that.
So where'd you get blood from? Your sister's blood?
No. So they got blood from the hospital.
Okay.
So people that donate blood, but I've got not a rare.
Or something.
No, I've got a normal type, but I'm anti-D, which is, I don't know the scientific, but I've got a.
Did you know that at the time?
I knew that because then you have to find out through your. It was one of the pregnancy tests, so it's to avoid any complications happening after you give birth. So me and my daughters have got separate blood types. If they mix, they can cause me a lot of problems.
Okay.
So I have this injection every time. I had an injection halfway between me being pregnant and giving birth, and then straight after I give birth, so that their cells don't merge with my cells and make me sick. Yeah.
How were they doing this back in the day then?
Well, this is what Tayo says all the time. Like, how, like, people in Africa that are all this stuff and all that's like, how do they manage? So yeah, they gave me about 4 pints before they took me into surgery, and then they were explaining to Tayo that the surgery will probably take about 45 minutes. That we have to assume that it's an injury from birthing. If they can't resolve it, then they'll perform a hysterectomy.
They're slick though. Hold up. So at this point in time, they said that if there's something goes wrong, we have to assume it's just an injury from you giving birth, isn't it?
No, so they've said that we have to assume something has gone wrong from the injury from giving birth. So because of that, they're only going to look at my organs that revolve around birth, my uterus, whatever. And if they can't resolve it, if they can't find the problem, they will perform a hysterectomy. And worst case scenario is that I'll die.
And that one could be they don't have children again as well, isn't it?
So the two were, okay, we solve the problem, or we give her a hysterectomy, or she dies. So that's literally what it was. And I remember hearing them say that to Fop, and I was like, God, like, I've just given birth to this girl. Like, if I don't make it, like, please, he'll have to marry quickly. Like, I don't want our baby to know that I died because of childbirth. So I want him to marry quickly. So she's got a mother. So she's got someone to look after her straight away.
Wow.
Obviously, I know our mums would look after her.
Hope you
But
didn't tell, what's his name? Tips that.
well, no, he knows. He knows.
You tell him,
No. It was all like, okay,
that would be a crazy
yeah.
thing to hear.
But that's what I'm
Stay
thinking.
alive!
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you know, shit, what is life going to look like for him if I don't make it? And what's life going to look like for my daughter? I don't want her to be told that her mum died.
Because of you, essentially.
Do you get? So, all right, cool. Like, just marry quickly, make people, like, let no one tell her. Like, you've got to make sure that it's airtight, that whoever you marry is her blood. Like, don't let this come out, type of thing. If you've got to move. If you've got to leave the ends like that. These are all the things that are going through my head. And then, yeah, so they were like, the surgery is going to take 45 minutes. I was in surgery for 8 hours. And that was only by the grace of God.
He's probably, bless her. He's probably thinking she's a goner and they can't tell me.
I was there for 8 hours. And they were literally about to perform a hysterectomy, literally pulling out my uterus. And then it's only God that opened the eyes of one of the nurses, and she saw a scratch at the back of my uterus. So that's where the bleed had been coming from. All the blood was coming from over the past 48 hours. So they were explaining that, you know, once I was just bleeding too much, but they didn't want to give up. And then it got to like a day shift and they were like, let's just remove her uterus. Like, that's it. And then...
Wow, ain't it crazy how they can just do that?
Crazy.
Like, I'm tired now, man. Fuck it.
Literally. But they need... I get it because you can't do something forever.
Yeah.
But so I was sedated for a couple of days and then I woke up and I...
Wait, so you were asleep for a couple of days?
Yeah, I was sedated. Because the
No
surgery
way!
was... Yeah, I think it was about 36 hours.
What the hell was that like feeling? Like you just woke up, basically?
I just woke up.
And it's been 2 days first.
I woke up and I woke up with them pulling the thing out of my throat. I remember choking, feeling like I was choking. And I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know where I was. I was just so confused. And then when I came round to remembering how I even got here, I wept. Like, if I could have got on my knees and climbed my way to heaven to personally thank God, I would have. I wept. I thought, thank you, God, I made it. And at the time, I was thinking, cool, if I can't have kids, at this point, I don't know what's happened yet. I was just so grateful to be alive. I was just thinking, like...
What's that? 6.
Oh, is it 6 already?
Oh, okay, cool. I'll finish on 5 minutes, yeah? Sweet. Yeah.
I was just so grateful to be alive and just so grateful that, like, I'm able to live my life with my family now. So, yeah, I healed. I had to stay in hospital for about a week after that. So I was just healing in hospital. It was very traumatic. Extremely traumatic. But Ty was brilliant through the whole of it. So while I was, like, sedated and all of that stuff, he was in the hospital with Olivia the whole time. He had to feed her, he had to do everything with her, and we're here now, almost 4 years later. Olivia will be 4, and we thank God for his mercy. We thank God for his favor.
Because obviously we've overrun our session. I feel like I want a part 2, and in fact, one last question I want to ask you. Yeah, come in. Yeah, don't worry, I'm packing up now, yeah? Yeah, sweet.
Right now.
Sweet. One last question is, so what made you have a child again then?
It was an accident.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
It was an accident. Not an accident. My Mia's not an accident.
Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the mud, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures, 3-course meals for dinners, 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different, cause the bag is different. And the tab is